So bodybuilding for me, I, I was inspired from like a child. I would say, funny enough, when I was I would say about 4 years old. I remember I used to watch bodybuilders on the TV and used to stand in front of the TV and be flexing my muscle. In recent times, though, what inspired me is just watching my wife. My wife is the one that initially started on the team, and just seeing the dedication that she had and was putting into it kind of made it an easy transition for me. And I was just looking at her and was like, part of me was saying like, oh, I think I could do that too, but also seeing how much she was working, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. That's something I would like to do. Well, royal family, in terms of what it means to me, you know, a cohesiveness. I think that's just the simplest way of putting it. I think when you look at different people in this world, we tend to find that even though we are all individuals, we work best as a collective. And then finding a group of people that work so well in a collective was a big thing for me and something that I wanted to be a part of. So for me, royal family just means cohesiveness, and that cohesiveness can go on and do great things. So that is a very important thing to me. I think simply put is just liking or loving. I'll leave it at liking what you're doing. You know, I want to say love, but love is such a deep and strong word. So I'm going to say like what you're doing and genuinely have an interest. You know, if it's something that, say, you're doing it for someone else, or you have a coach in your corner and him or her is pushing you to do something that you don't necessarily want to do, I think that will be a net negative to you. So actually like what you're doing, actually have an interest, and it would take you so much better. It would be such a smooth process for you because you never have to worry about, oh, it never feels like a job. It never feels like it's a mundane task. You are interested in what you're doing, and you're going to put your wholehearted effort into it and give it 100. So actually like what you do. The balance is basically just doing. A lot of times people want a step-by-step on how to do things, or, you know, want a list and, you know, check this and check that box, and, you know, a whole bunch of stuff of what tips and tricks to do something. But really and truthfully, it's really just doing it. And if it's something that you want to do, you will find a way. I really wholeheartedly believe that you will find a way. For me, I wanted to bodybuild. I know I have a show. I try to schedule things out where I'm like, okay, I know the kids will be in bed by this time, so I can slide in a gym time here. I know the kids obviously eat every day, so if I'm cooking my meals, I cook their meals at the same time. So it's just finding a way to just do it. You know, if you will find a way, wherever there's a will, there's a way, and you're gonna find that way. I don't have any tips and tricks to give anyone. I just know that if you really want to do it, you'll find a way to do it. Was at a show. Actually, it was my first show. And I remember I went back to sit down in the chair after I've competed on stage. And I was just replaying everything that was happening on stage. And I'm such a person that is, like many of us sometimes as athletes, we're so hard on ourselves. I'm like, oh man, I should have done this better, or I should have done that instead. And I was just beating myself up. Not that I thought that I lost, but just that I was just thinking and replaying the events that happened prior. And this individual came up to me and said, hey man, everything good? You know, you look good up there, everything, you killed it, man. And in that moment, I just broke down, because it was like, here I am beating up on myself and so hard on myself. And this individual just came up and showed some compassion, and maybe not even knowing that's what I was doing, but I literally just broke down in that moment. And that kind of was a memory of mine that keeps replaying in my head, because that's exactly what I mean by having a cohesive unity with individuals and with people that are amongst you. You know, I'm in a community and a group of people that actually care, and, you know, sometimes that's all it takes is just somebody saying, are you okay, or are you all right? And that to me was something that I've forever cherished, you know, because that's what family means. That's the true definition of family. Just always having a shoulder to lean on. So that to me was one of my grandest moments in terms of memories. That lives rent free in my head. Yeah, I think everybody has their own way of doing things, and I don't say that it's a wrong way or it's a right way, but I just think that a lot of times in life we want to choose the way that makes the most sense. And for me, having a community, having people that is in your corner, having people that is riding out for you, you know, just makes life so much easier. And not to say that if someone wants to be a lone wolf per se, that they're wrong. And I do understand that there are individuals that do strive in that realm, but for me, having that community just makes it so much easier. And it's actually people that I actually like too, so it makes it 10 times even more better.